Well, I finally get to work on my sewing project. Let me tell you something I know for sure. You can never sew without an iron and an ironing board. Let me go ahead and iron out my pattern pieces and get them nice and flat. That way I'll be able to sew more accurately. These are going to be the pockets. This fabric has been in storage now for, let me see, I think I bought this fabric in like 2008. So I've had it like quite a while, almost 15 years. I bought it when I worked at Walmart. Okay, that's good enough. And let me go ahead and get this. These pair of shorts that I'm wearing, I sewed them in July 2015. I actually sewed me 3 pairs of shorts just from this pattern in 2015. And they have been working marvelously. I've worn them just about every day for the past 7.5 years and washed them at least once a week, and they've held up. Now, I also made 3 pairs of tank tops using a kind of cotton polyester blend fabric. Those I had to trash. They started getting holes in them. I mean, what do you expect when you wear something just about every day? These are my walking clothes. So I have to have pockets, like to put keys, pepper spray in there, because I got bit by a dog in 2015. Here, let's get rid of all these wrinkles. So, yeah, the pair of shorts that I'm wearing right here, these are, I've had these since July 2015. That's when I made them. It's the exact same pattern. Yep. Now, I've noticed, like if I have minor cutting mistakes, I can usually fix that during the sewing process. But let me just go ahead and just get this nice and smooth here. Okay, that looks pretty good there. I'll put that over here for right now. Get this nice and smooth, get the wrinkles out so I can sew accurately. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this today, but I wanted to sewing. I've spoiled myself with my own clothes. I mean, when you make high quality clothes that you can wash over and over and over, and they last and they're so comfortable, you get spoiled. So, all right, you know what? Let me put this over here. Yeah, just to keep the wrinkles out. Oops, it fell down. This pair of shorts that I'm making is the exact same pattern here. Oops. Looks like I need to iron a little bit better here. I could go in the steam mode, but I don't want to do that. I think let's try a higher temperature. I actually bought this fabric at Walmart, probably about 2008. Yep. There, I got the wrinkles out. Let's get this out. Yeah, I've been sewing my own clothes since I was a teenager, but I got pretty good at sewing, I would say, about mid-1990s. And a book that I would highly recommend is one like this. See, that's the book that really helped me a lot. And also lots of practice. Let's get these other pockets. Actually, I don't think they look pretty good. I'll just give it like a quick, I just want the fabric to be pretty flat so that when I get around to sewing, it's going to be accurate. You see, this fabric has been in storage for so long that a lot of the fabric got wrinkled. I bought some elastic, a whole bunch of elastic in I think it was 2015 as well, and that's what I'm going to be using too. I ordered it online. That was before I got the order from higher uppers. Not to do so. Let's get all the wrinkles out of here. I can see where I have my fabric markings. Yeah. This is obvious, this is very high quality fabric because I made a pair of shorts from this exact fabric, and they look, and I've washed them just about once a week for the past 7.5 years, and wore them just about every day, and they look almost brand new. Yeah, using this exact same pattern. I don't know, they just don't, they don't make clothes to last anymore, unless you're willing to pay a fortune. Yeah, and so I've kind of spoiled myself with my own sewing. Let me get this, I want to get this out here. Might need to go a little higher heat. There's some cotton in here, so it can take the higher heat. All right, there. All right, let's go and put this over here. Let's get this fabric right here. This is stuff I cut last week. I'm really busy, and I haven't had time to sew. So in order to get my clothes made, I have to do it in bits and pieces, because between cooking, sewing, I'm kind of like a bookkeeper too. Like every time I go shopping, I enter stuff on Ledger so I can keep track of my finances, see where all the money's going and stuff, which stores I'm saving, money on, and yeah, I go shopping just about every day for food because I take the bus. Let's get the wrinkles out of this thing. It will help you to sew more accurately. You can cut, like if you made minor mistakes in cutting, you can sometimes, if they're minor, major mistakes, forget it, but minor mistakes in cutting, you can sometimes make up for that with sewing. Yeah, like let's say your pattern's a little too small for you. I usually use like a very narrow seam, like a French seam. But in this case, I don't think I have that problem. Okay, so, all right, we got the clothes ironed. Let's go ahead and get the bob and the sewing machine ready. The Japanese style. In Japan, when I visited it, they have small places, and each spot has multi-uses. Like right here, I sit and put on my walking shoes, but when I'm sewing, I transform this into a sewing center. So this is going to be the chair I'll be sitting on, and I move my walking shoes out that way. And let's go ahead and get the everything set up. I don't think I'll be needing that, but let's get it out of the way. The sewing machine. This used to be a table that I ate on in Florida, and now it is and I'm wearing a tinfoil hat because Lizzo always uses brain control on me. This is my sewing table where I put the sewing machine. I believe I fixed my sewing machine with WD-40. So, let's see, am I showing it? Let's go a little bit higher here. Okay. Yep. I bought this Singer, I think this is a 2001 model. I love it. The needle threader broke within 1 year after I bought it, but I don't care. I just use my eyes, but I have to wear glasses now. Because I don't see really good. I have, I think, astigmatism, so I don't see really good. So let's go ahead and set that up. And then what I do is I plug it into, with a plug that goes to the kitchen. So it kind of goes out this way. And let's go ahead and get all my stuff out and get ready to thread the bobbin. My important stuff, like my patterns and stuff, in this bag. So that, since I know I can't work on it all at once, I'm hoping that I fixed my sewing machine. Let's put all this over here. Yeah. So it used to be in the past, if I had the sewing for like a week, I would have to put more WD-40 in there, but I think I got it fixed to the point now where I don't have to do that. So, okay, what I need to do now is get the bobbin ready. And I'm pretty much taking everything out that I know I'm going to need, like this, goes without saying, you don't sew with the regular scissors. You need to get sewing shears. They look like this. I also zigzag scissors, excuse me, for seam finishes, and I'll be using those. Okay, let's put this over this way for right now. Let's see. All right. We're gonna have to take this color out because this is not. You know what? I need to get my glasses on so I can see the needle threader. I am not sure if I'm going to be able to film this really good because, well, Lizzo's making me cough. Let's try getting it over here. Okay. She's horrible, man. What a low life. Okay. This is the perfect color. I obviously cannot use the color that's in there, or I could, but it wouldn't look too good. So, let's see if I can get this out of my way. Oh, all right. Got to take this out. I always forget all the little details, you know, or maybe I just don't trust my memory. Threading the bobbin. Every sewing machine has different instructions. Winding the bobbin now. Let's see, 18. I love this sewing machine, and it hasn't been a big deal to me that the threader broke because, you know, yeah, I'm just glad I'm able to sew. Let's go ahead and take this one out. Okay, put it back over into my thread organizer. I can tell Lizzo's here. Rather than being, you know, focused on me, she should focus on improving herself. Winding the bobbin. Here we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is the perfect color. Let me see if I already have bobbin thread in this color, because I have used this thread before, so I won't have to do this. Let's double check. No, it doesn't look like I do. Do I have a bobbin that I can use? Ah, yes I do. Here we have one. Okay. Looks like I've got it right here. Okay, but not very much. Let's just go ahead. You know what? I don't need to wind the bobbin because I've already got one. That looks like it's, yep, that looks like that's that color. Let me make sure it's the same color. You know what? It looks like it might be a little different color. It is a little different color. Let me get the fabric over here and see which is a better match. That matches good. Actually, that's not a bad match either. Maybe it doesn't matter. Huh. However, that's not a bad match either. That'll work too. Okay, hold on. I have a decision to make here. I actually found this has already been, I can tell I'm going to have to stop in the middle of my project, and that's close enough for me. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this, and believe me, nobody is going to notice if I have to. Here is a new thread that I bought in case I run out. It's very close to that color. Nobody is going to notice. If I have to switch out with a different color, you know, they're not going to notice. Okay, this is close enough. So we're not going to worry about filling up the bobbin thing. So let's just go ahead and just thread the machine. Okay, so let's go ahead and take out what's in here. I'm not used to filming when I do all this stuff. Take out what's in here. And hopefully the machine is going to work. Oh, I've got to look at this. Now I am really tempted here. You know what? But I can tell with the amount of sewing that I have to do, I could just put in a fresh bobbin. You know what? Let's go ahead and use this one. Okay, see if I remember how to do this. Hold on. When all else fails, read the instruction book. Inserting the bobbin. When inserting or removing the bobbin, the needle must be fully raised. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right. Here's the right way to do it. I remember. Pull it this way. Okay. Hold the bobbin case with one hand. Insert the bobbin so that the thread runs in a clockwise direction. Yeah. All right. Now we need to thread the machine. I've done this before. I pretty much have it memorized. Okay, I'm not gonna. This looks like this needle's gonna be fine. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of lazy about changing out the needles. Though they do recommend for thicker fabric that you use a bigger needle. But this looks like, I think this is a standard size 16. So I think that's going to work. Threading the machine, the upper thread, 24. Like I said, when all else fails, read the instruction book. Okay, let's go this way. Put it up here. This goes right here. I can tell that I don't have enough thread in the bobbin, that eventually I'm going to have to stop in the middle of sewing and fill this one up here with some thread. I'll keep that for later. Okay, so I'm going to go this way. I've done this before. Get my scissors. Hold on. Yeah. The eye of that needle is very small, and I have to, it can be tricky. It was nice when the needle threader worked, but I've been getting along without it for years now. What I do is I make sure I have a very, a very sharp cut there to help me when I get to the point where I have to thread it. Okay, I remember you go like this. In the highest position, yep. Go like that. When you get older, your eyes are not as good. Aha. Went through the hole there. Learn all sorts of tricks. There we go. Alright. And here's where it gets tricky. I have to get it right through there. It looks like I did it on the first try. Oh no, I didn't. Alright. I could get better lighting if I have to. Looks like I got it through. Okay. Now here's where it gets tricky. Alright. I definitely have to wear glasses for this. Guess what? I think I did it. Yep. There we go. Then pull it back this way. Now let's pull the bobbin thread up. You know what? I'm thinking that I might have to do more WD-40. It's feeling a little stiff. We shall find out. There's one way to test it. There it goes. Let's get a piece of fabric and see how it goes. Piece of fabric. If I have to put more WD-40 in, that means I'm going to have to thread it all over again. Ah, what a pain in the neck. Okay, I'm pretty sure I won't be using this piece. Anything here? No. Yeah, let's just test it out on this and see how it sews. Please work. Okay, it looks like it's working. Sometimes I'll mess with the thread tension, but it looks like I'll be able to tell in a minute if the thread tension is good. Yep, not bad. The best way to tell if the thread tension is good is with a zigzag stitch, excuse me. Lizzo's brain control. But this looks like it's going to work. Let me study that. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. So it looks like I'm in business. Okay, now let's go reread my instructions on how to make this garment, just to refresh my memory and get down to sewing. Okay, here are the instructions. I usually kind of briefly read the whole thing. I need to stitch the front and back at the inside leg edges. Then after that I will be stitching the center seam matching notches to reinforce curve both right sides. Okay, we're going to work on, so I need to get 11 and 12. Now with this particular fabric, both sides are the same. If you have some fabric where one side is finished and another side isn't, then you need to pay attention. See the darker side there? That's the finished side. The lighter color there is the unfinished side. So when I put 11 and 12 together, I will put the two finished sides aligned with each other, like in the picture there. So let's go ahead, and when they say to do this, I actually have I have to do this twice, because I've got 2 pieces for 11 and 2 pieces for 12. So let me go ahead and pin those pieces and get them ready. It does look like one side is a little more finished than the other. So I have my finished side here and here, here and here, you see? And I'm going to be pinning this side here. So the finished side is there, and then the raw side is out, like in the picture. So I'm going to be pinning here and here. So here's, I need to sew there and there. And yeah. See, this is going to go up to the waistline, right up there. This is going to be the bottom of the shorts that'll go to the middle of the thigh. And here's the outer edges there. And this is, yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and pin here and here and get that ready for sewing. Okay, what you do when you pin, it's obvious that you want to keep this perfectly, you want these 2 pieces to be right there. Okay. When I pin, I think about putting it in, how I'm going to put it in the machine. So, yeah, you're going to want to pin this way. So we'll go like this, just to keep the pieces in place as you sew, so you can sew accurately. As you can see, I'm going to do that. Okay, you don't want to lose any needles. When I first started sewing, I actually lost a needle one time into this knee. And I had to go into the operating room because the needle went underneath the skin. They had to put me under general anesthesia. Ever since then, I've been paranoid about not losing needles. Okay, so yeah, that was when I was like 15 years old or something. Yeah, I started sewing as a teenager. Oh yeah. Okay. Now here's where I'm talking about some cutting mistakes. I don't know if you see that, but right there, that fabric is a little bit longer than here. We can fix that during the sewing stage easily. If you have, it's probably because I cut it with the fabric not fully ironed. I was kind of in a hurry. Let me see here. You know what? I'm going to repin this. I can see why it's doing that. It's because I don't have it right here. So let's get that right. Yep. Okay. We can make this even. We're going to go like this. All right. trying to sew and I'm not even sure I'm in the camera. Okay. Yeah. You want to be accurate because that will determine the final fit. So. This would be a lot easier if there was another person filming and I didn't, yeah. I actually cut it good. I just didn't pin it good, so I'm fixing that right now. Okay. Now most sewing projects, if they don't tell you, you're going to be using what they call a 5/8 seam. Let's go ahead and do this. So if your pattern fits you and you don't need to adjust it or anything, okay, yep, I fixed it. I didn't pin it right. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. All right. Yeah, I think that's about a good length there. It's on straight stitch. Okay, yep. Let's go to about side 2. All right. Now, when you do a 5/8 seam, and I am going to be doing a 5/8 seam because I'm going to be, because of the seam finish, that'll be the perfect. You see that little hole there? I don't know. Let me see how I'm doing it here. Let's get right there. Okay, I don't know. Like I said, trying to do this on camera or something. There is a little hole here, which lets me know where the 5/8 seam is. So it's right there. Okay? Alright. I usually start with a back stitch to kind of reinforce it. And then I go forward. So please tell me this machine works. Yeah, because I used, okay, that's good. Now one thing I will do is get this right over here and take the needles out as I move. I follow, I keep my eye on that hole there to make sure I'm doing a straight stitch. Okay, take this out. Put it over in the, when I'm done with the needles, I put them right back in there. Make sure that, and I'm keeping my eye on that hole so I can make sure I'm doing a 5/8 seam. Okay. There's like little lines on your sewing machine that guide you to make sure that you're doing the type of seam that you want. Okay. There we go. And then I usually, when I get to the end, I back. There we go. Pull it out. Okay. Okay. So this is the beginning of my shorts. Now I'm going to be doing the same thing to the other side. What you just saw me do here, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So let me turn this off. Here is the other side, and I've already pinned it. Let's go ahead and do this same thing, 5/8 seam. Go backwards and then forwards to reinforce the stitch. Okay. said, whatever I sew must be very sturdy because I've wore these shorts for the past almost 8 years and washed them, wore them just about every day, washed them at least once a week, and they have held up really well. You kind of like want to hold the fabric taut a little bit. See what I'm doing here as you're moving? Okay. Okay. And I'm just sticking over there in the tomato. I don't want to lose any needles. There we go. Oh, shoot. Her brain control made me... All right. There we go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. You might say, oh, you're done. Nope. What I usually do next, your pattern instructions don't tell you this, but you need to think about seam finish. Okay? What I do next is I work on the seam finish. Okay? Yeah, this will work. Okay. The next thing I do is I already know what kind of seam finish I have. I'm going to have a 1/4 inch, another line going down this way. And then I'm going to use zigzag scissors to make my seam finish. So you do seam finish as you go. So now we're going to work on the seam finish. Now we're going to go the same way that I went, except this time instead of doing a 5/8 seam, I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam, which means it's going to go here. Let me see if I can show you what my goal is. I don't know if you see this here. Let me get something and show you. These are the same shorts that I made in 2015 with that exact same fabric, exact same pattern. This is what they're going to look like, hopefully, when I'm done. Okay? Let's turn this inside out so I can show you what my goal is. Okay, right now what I'm sewing is this right in here. As you can see, what I did before, here's the seam that I just sewed. Then I'm going to sew another one 1/4 inch out and then do a zigzag finish. You see what I did there? I don't know if the camera's picking it up. So, yep. So I have to go, so I'm going to sew another line here, then use zigzag scissors, and that'll be my finish. So that's what I'm going to work on. See, I'm sewing this inner seam right here. So let's go ahead and work on that. Okay. I can tell what I did was a 1/4 inch straight stitch from the previous one. For a 1/4 inch, I need to line it up just like this. I just know this from experience. So we're going to go right here, right there on the edge of the needle. Okay. Perfect. This way. This goes easier because I don't have to worry about pulling any needles out. This way. See, the edge of the fabric goes right there, and that gives me a 1/4. I just follow that and make sure I'm keeping the edge right there. That's going to be a 1/4 inch. Backtrack. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you might say, oh, that goes up to the waistline. Yep. Let's make sure I haven't goofed here. Hold up. Yep. That is correct. I can tell I'm holding it up to my waistline here. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and cut this thread. Let's get my zigzag scissors out. Yep. We'll go ahead and... Yep, what you do is you do the main sewing, then you do the seam finish, then you work on to the next step. So I'm not done with this seam finish yet. Get my zigzag scissors out. Okay. Now, this is to the zigzag. And here you got to be careful. You do not want to cut into where that straight line you just sewed, but you want to just get right in here, right there, and just give it a zigzag cut. That way you can wash it over and over again, and this outfit will last forever. It's very important that you do not cut into what you just sewed, the line, because you want this to be a, okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut it all the way to the end, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other piece. Okay, that's what it looks like. I don't have very good lighting here. I'm not, a professional photographer. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. This is very important. After you finish your seam and you finish the finish, and you just sew the finish, then you need to iron it flat. Okay? That's why you can't sew without an ironing board. You iron it flat. Okay. Needs to get hot. Okay, I'm ironing it flat right now. I had to get the iron hot. Alright, so that's how basically when you're sewing a garment, you sew your seam, you sew your finish, then you flatten the seam with an iron. And then you go on to the next seam. That's basically the way you do it at this stage of the sewing, most sewing garment projects. See, and the purpose for that is because you want this side, see how nice that looks right there? You want that side to look like that. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other piece. Put it over here. Need to iron it flat. Okay? Iron it flat. Ooh, that is hot. Yes. Lizzo would love it if I injured myself. Her and her stinking brain control. Let's go ahead and go this way. Okay. I showed you the pair, see right there. Let's go ahead and get that. Okay, so iron it flat. Okay. Looks like we are... Wait a minute. I want to pull that right there. Looks like I could do a little bit better there. Hold on. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and... double check, make sure I did well on this one. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Ready to work on the next seam. Okay, the next step is right here. Stitch the center seam matching notches and inside leg seams. To reinforce curve, stitch again 3/8 inch from raw edge between small circles, trim close to second stitching. Okay, so let me go ahead and pin those pieces together. Here's what they're talking about. Okay, so you pin right sides together. These are the two pieces I just sewed, and as you can see there, and then on that side, okay? And what I'm going to do is pin all the way through here to prepare for sewing. Okay? So I'm going to be sewing a seam going all the way down like that. Okay? But first, let's go ahead and pin that seam together. That's these matching notches and inside leg seam. Now, here's a trick that I've learned. I usually start my pinning. You see that right there? I usually have these match up so it looks professional. So what I'll do is usually have that match up with that so it looks professional and not like something homemade. I'll show you when I get there. Let me just pin, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can show you. See that pin right there? Now before I did that, I made sure that the inside seams lined up. Let me see if I can show you from the inside. Well, let's see if I can show you here. Trying to show this on camera is a challenge. You see that right there? You see how they line up? That's going to be right where the where the crotch is. So I try to get those to line up right there, and then I pin all the way. Then I pin the rest of it. So let me just go ahead and work on that. I am so picky about this. Actually, I have to put this back here. That I will often. Let me see if I can get this. That I will actually start sewing like this. See, I know the lines are perfect, so I usually start sewing this way, just to make sure the lines are perfect. So I will like sew this way and then pin the other side and then sew the other side. That way I can make sure it lines up perfectly. I'm telling you, trying to do this with this camera is a job. Okay. Okay, so let me see here. Do I have this? Yep. Okay. You might say you don't have that set. Yeah. That'll work. Okay. I'm going to start right here. Alright. I do this just to make sure that line lines up perfectly. 5/8 seam, so the dot's right here, and I just use that as the guide, and I go, I'm going to do this starting at the crotch, going all the way down to the hemline. Alright. Alright. Here we go. These curves I usually go slow because it's really easy to mess up here. Alright. Looks like I fixed my sewing machine, which is good news because I love this sewing machine. I've made a lot of beautiful outfits with it. Yeah, you usually have something in the back holding the fabric, and then you're going like this. You're holding the fabric in the back. So. Alright. Yep. You can go faster once you get away from the curve, because straight lines are pretty easy to sew. At least for me anyway. Pull the needles out and put them in the tomato. Alright, there we go. this thread, cut this thread. Let me see if it worked. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, this is the crotch. Look at that. See what I mean? You see that? Yep, that way I can be sure it looks. That's the, right there. I don't know if you can see it. See? That looks pretty good, eh? It's a little off, but it's still closer than it would be if I hadn't done that. So, all right, now I'm going to go ahead and pin the rest of it and sew all the way up to there. Okay, let me see if I'm not even sure I'm filming this good. Okay, okay, I pinned it. Now I have noticed on this end there is a little bit of unevenness. It might have been cutting or sewing. It's not a big deal. Nobody's going to notice. Okay, because the thread ends right there, I need to start right about there to have some overlap. So we're going to go ahead and start right about there. Okay, and oops, yeah, let's go ahead and sew this side. Okay. Follow that dot there to make sure I've got a 5/8 seam. And I'll be doing this all the way up to the waistline. Okay. You can see the shorts are starting. That was the center seam I just sewed. It hasn't been ironed or anything yet. The next step is going to be the seam finish. But as you can see, the shorts are starting to come into place. Yep, that's what I just sewed. Here's the bottom. So you see the crotch is even because of what I did. See, that's pretty even. Now I probably was a mistake in cutting, but you'll notice right up here, a little bit of the fabric's a little higher right there. But nobody's going to notice. Yeah, once that's going to be the waistband area. Okay, the next thing I need to do now is do the seam finish. Okay, we're going to do a 1/4 inch. Though what I usually do when I get near the crotch area, I usually go in a little bit closer than a 1/4 inch. I usually will bring it in a little, hold on. I actually have markings on the fabric that shows me where I'm going to go 3/8 inch, starting there to there. You see that? So I'll be doing 2/8 in up to that mark when I'm sewing. That's going to be my seam finish, and then I'm going to kind of go in closer to like 3/8. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to do 2/8 and then go down to 3/8 when I get to that mark, and then to go 3/8 in all the way to that mark, and then kind of go back out. In fact, I might let you, all right, I might let you see if I can do this. All right. Yes, this is the seam finish, okay? It's very important you do that if you don't want your your garment to fall apart in the wash. Okay, so let's go ahead and start up here. So we're going to start off at, so the 2/8 is here. To go to 3/8, I'll probably have to bring it out about right there, okay? I'll do that when I get to that marking. That's the purpose for pattern markings, by the way. Okay. Let's go ahead and, am I recording or not? I can't even, I tell you, trying to sew with a camera is a challenge and a half. I think I am recording, okay. Alright, I'm telling you. Alright, let's do, backwards, forwards. So we're doing 2/8 in till we get to the marking, then I'm going to 3/8 in for the seam finish. Probably gonna run out of bobbin thread any minute now. When that happens, then I'll have to fix it. Not a big deal. Okay, so I'm doing 2/8 in. I can tell because I just keep it right there on the edge, and that's 2/8. Okay, now we're going to ease into 3/8. Go up like this. There we go. 3/8. There we go. Near the crotch, you want it to be about 3/8. Looks like I fixed my sewing machine. I'm thrilled. Okay. Yep, we're about 3/8 in here. Okay, here's the other end. Now I'm going to just swerve on out to 2/8. There we go. Now we're at 2/8. And then I'll just do 2/8 all the way down to the other waistline. Looks. Yep, that's good. That'll work. All right. Okay. Kind of like hold it taut. Okay, now I'm going to get the pinking shears. I'll show you what I did. All right. Let's go ahead and cut this. Oh, all right. All right. I don't know if you can see, oops, I don't know if you can see it or not because I don't have very good lighting. All right. Okay, as you can see, okay, when I got to the marking, you see how I narrowed in and got closer? That's the crotch. There's the mark. And then I sewed like that. Whoops. Till I got to the other mark. And then I veered back out to a wider yeah. Okay, now I'm going to use zigzag scissors and cut right here to complete the seam finish. Okay, as you can see, I cut really close there with zigzag scissors. The seam finish is done. This is the center seam. Now I'm going to go ahead and iron it. Just like I showed you with the other pieces. So let me just go ahead and work on ironing it. Okay, I'm ironing it. There's actually some seamstresses have what they call like a mitt that they can use here, but I've been doing without that for a long time. I just use the tip of my iron and kind of like going like this when I have curves like this to deal with. Yeah. Though some professional seamstresses do have a mitt that they can put right here, but I used to have one of them things, but I've been getting along without it for so long, I'll be fine. Yeah, I just put the tip of the iron in like this. Basically, you just want to sew the seam over to one. Iron the seam over to one side. I do have a sleeve board, but I'm not going to be using that for this. That's usually for blouses. For shorts, this will work. So, a sleeve board, Okay. Now let's go this way. We're going to keep it going in the same direction. All right, we got that, so it has to be this way. So let's just go ahead and continue to iron. Okay, I just wanted to show you how I do curves without my little pillow. Some seamstresses use like a little mini pillow in that area, and that would probably help, but it's okay. I manage. Okay, let me show you what I've done here. We're working on the pockets now. I have pinned them matching the notches and the markings. It's kind of hard to show this on camera. See them not marked? You can see that right there. And what I'm going to be doing is sewing 3/8 inch on this side and on that side. Then doing the same thing. Here, let's get this on this side and on that side. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on that. I'm winding the bobbin right now because I ran out of bobbin thread. There we go. That's how you do it. And then we have to rethread the machine. That's, you know, can't sew without your bobbin thread. Let's see, I might go a little further. No, we are done. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to rethread the machine and put the bobbin thread back in and I had to stop sewing because I ran out of bobbin thread. Okay, I just did that. And here's the other side. There's 4 sides here. 3/8 inch seam. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. I'll let you see what you sew it on the right side. So that's what that side looks like. And I'm going to go ahead. Oops. Oh, it's kind of hard to show it from a distance. See, like that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is trim in here and get ready to sew the side seams. Hold on. The thing I have to do is press the seam allowances towards the pockets. So, that means they're all going to be pressed that way. I don't know if you can see that. See, press the seam allowances towards the pockets. So we're going to do this for all 4 of them. Okay, that's good. And that's what it looks like right there. I don't have the best lighting here, so press the seam allowances towards the pockets. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's good. I'm going to do it on this side now. Yeah, I ran out of a bobbin thread while I was doing this. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Okay, press the seam allowances towards the pockets. Okay. Okay, and we've got one more I have to do that to. I think it's this one, I think. Did I do this one? looks like this is the one I have to do. Okay. Press the seam allowances towards the pockets. Okay. Okay, for the next step, I'm going to be pinning the front to back at the sides. So I'll be pinning this. Let me get back over to the other spot. Okay, I'll let you see what I'm doing here. I'm going to be pinning the front to back at the sides. It's amazing how I've been able to work so well with my studio here. So basically, I want the way I do it is I make sure the pockets match up. You see this? All right, here we go. Well, they will. Let's just go ahead and do this. What I love about this outfit is it has really strong pockets. Not those cheapy pockets that you often get in store-bought clothes where they try to save money by using a cheaper fabric for the pockets. It's one advantage of home-sewn clothes. You can really make them high quality. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and yeah, right there. Yep, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, when you sew the side, you only go down to that because obviously you want to leave an opening for the pocket, right? Yeah, so, okay, so that'll be right here. Okay. Yep, that works. Perfect. There's the bottom part of the pocket. A little bit uneven down here, but by the time I do the hemming, nobody's going to notice. I can fix. Let me see. Probably when I cut it, because I didn't bother to iron the fabric first, that was the problem. Let me see if I can fix it with the pinning. Let me see. Okay, we got it right here. Do it like that. Okay. No, that's okay. It's very minor. We'll be able to fix it when we get down to the hemming. It's very minor. This happens to me a lot when I sew. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this. So, basically, I'm going to be sewing from there down to that dot, okay? And then from this dot all the way down to the bottom, okay? And then the pockets, as you can see, oops, pockets, as you can see, line up. Oops, let's make sure that they line up good. Yeah, looks like they do. Yep. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stitch this side, like I said. This is going to be a 5/8 seam allowance. Okay, so as I stitch, and then I'm going to go all the way down to that dot right there. Let's go ahead and put this in here. Okay, 5/8, it's going to be right there to that. Down to the dot. There we go. Backtrack. There we go. Stop. Gotta leave an opening for the pocket. This up here, and then we're going to sew right here from that dot right there down to the edge. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead, start right there, right on that dot. Actually start a little bit ahead of it, and then we're going to back up. Okay. I might have gone too far. Let me see how I did here. Ooh, something's not going. I broke a thread. I'm going to have to re-thread the machine. Something broke. I wonder what happened. Okay, I wonder if Lizzo's messing with my machine. Oh, well, I can easily fix that. Let's try this again. Tell I'm right at 5/8 seam. Okay. Yep, that'll work. Okay. I'll kind of let you see what you can see right there where the pocket's going to be. See? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, same thing to the other side. Okay, I did it to both sides. See that? And on this side, now I need to do the seam finish. So I'm going to be sewing another line, a 1/4 inch in, and then use the zigzag scissors to cut in here. Yeah, all the way up to the pockets. Okay, that way I can give this a seam finish. So I'm going to work on that next and do it on both sides. What I did is I sewed a 1/4 inch in all the way down to where the pocket opens. I also did it on this side. And now I'm going to get my zigzag scissors and cut all the way down and as far into the pocket as I can, of course, without damaging the pocket. This is what I did when I made it last time. Let me show you what I did. So I cut zigzag, and then I even did it here on the inside of the pocket, going all the way down this way. See, zigzag doesn't ravel as badly, so it makes the garment more long-lasting. So I did it on this side as well. And if I remember correctly, this is what I did when I made my current pair of pants, which I already explained to you. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. The pockets have not been sewn yet, but they will be. I'm going to have to finish this next week. It's getting late. But let me go ahead and iron to one side the seam. And then I will finish this. We'll do the pockets and finish this next week. It's getting late. I've got to honor the Gail commandments bedtime. So let's just go ahead and, but at least I finished most, it's almost, oops. I've got to finish this next week. Okay. Let's see, I might use my sleeve board. No, I don't think I need it. I think I'm good. Let's just go this way. We're going to have to finish this next week. I just, okay, which is going that way. All right. Okay. Next week. Got a lot done though, see? Let's go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Just, yeah, right after you do the seam finish, you wanna iron your seam so it'll look nice and finished. You always do that. Okay. Let's go this way. Let's see what. Okay. And then after this, I'm going to put my stuff away and finish next week. So the next week I'll be finishing the pockets, and then I will do the waistband and the hem. Yeah, I have to quit. Just don't have time. So that'll be my YouTube video for this week. If we can capture this. Here's what it looks like thus far. Yeah. So as you can see, we are getting there. The pockets, the hole's there, but I still have to work on them. So let me finish this next week.